don't need me to tell you that a lot of people are struggling right now. And I sometimes get criticized for suggesting you look for the gift. Hi, I'm Deborah Poneman, founder of Yes to Success Seminars, where we give you the knowledge and the tools you need to live your ultimate life. People have even said to me, if you knew what I was going through, you would never say to look for the gift. I even have people say to me, if you think it's such a gift, you should live my life. And my answer is always the same. I would be living your life if I were having your thoughts. And I really do not mean to be disrespectful or flippant or unsympathetic. But whatever reality you're experiencing right now, financially, with your health, with your career, and your relationships, we do create our own realities. There is just no way around it. If you plant an apple seed, you will not get a harvest of papayas. If you look around, every single thing in your life is the harvest of a seed you planted and nurtured. And the way you nurture the seeds is with the power of your attention. What we put our attention on is what will grow in our lives. So look at your thoughts. Are you thinking positive, expectant thoughts of a great future filled with success and good health and well being, even while you're dealing with the present realities of life? Or are your thoughts more along the lines of, everyone around me is struggling, everyone is sick, and there seems to be no end in sight? Now, I'm not going to take up your precious time talking about the power of your thoughts or the law of attraction, but what I will say is that if we no longer want to harvest difficulties, we have to start being more aware of what we're planting and nourishing. And I'm telling you, as sure as I am sitting here today, every little effort you make in this direction will be rewarded beyond your wildest dreams. If you take one step towards helping yourself, just one time that you're about to tell the story of your horrible childhood and you hear that voice telling you, don't tell the story again, because what you're doing is bringing the vibration of the past into the present, where it will draw what is vibrating like it to your current life. And you stop and you breathe, and instead you tell some kind of story of a happy moment, of a high vibration. The universe will reward your valiant effort 1,000 times over. A basic belief that will help you greatly in this is the belief that we live in a friendly universe, that there is nothing about the God of your understanding that is vindictive. And the God of your understanding is not randomly creating your suffering. This force in the universe loves you more than the word love can come close to describing. And just like you want to take the pain away from your own child when your child is suffering, that force would love to take your pain away. But just as you know the gift it is to your own child to not interfere and protect him or her from every sling and arrow, and thus never let them learn how to get out of their own way or how they could create their own good. The God of your understanding, out of his, her great love for you, allows you to experience what you need to experience for your own growth and your own evolution and your own highest good. And so you know what not to do next time or what to do next time. And you know, and I know that when you look back on your life, what seemed to be the greatest curse turned out to be the greatest blessing. And often what seemed to be the greatest blessing was not such a blessing at all. Now, the person who helped me internalize this most was the great teacher Byron Katie. Her body of knowledge is called The Work, and it's based on the realization she had when she woke up. And I don't mean woke up from sleep. She like authentically woke up. And this was her realization. When she believed that something should be different than it was, like my husband should be nicer to me or my children should respect me, and the reality is he isn't and they didn't, she suffered. And that when she believed those thoughts, when she didn't believe that anything should be different than exactly as it was, she felt peace. She realized that what had been causing her sadness and her depression in her life was not the world around her, but her belief that the world around her should be different than it was. Katie says, through the lens of her own self-realization, she recognized that our attempts to find happiness are backwards. Instead of hopelessly trying to change the world and the people in it to match our thoughts about how it should be or how they should be, we can question our thoughts. And by meeting reality as it is, we can experience freedom and the end of suffering. One way her work has always helped me through the tough times is by asking the simple question, how do you know this is supposed to be exactly the way it is? And the answer is always, because it is. You argue with reality and you will always lose, but only 100% of the time. So again, when something was very painful in my life, I would simply ask myself, how do I know it's supposed to be this way? And the answer is because it is. If it was supposed to be another way, it would have been another way. I love the story that Katie tells that after she had her waking up experience, she would have these little groups in her home. Her little groups are now thousands and thousands of people all over the world. But at the beginning, she would have these little groups in her home. And then people that she didn't know started showing up to meet this enlightened woman. And she would open the door of her home and they would say, namaste, namaste. And she would say, you are absolutely right, because she thought that they were saying to her, no mistake, no mistake. Once you accept that you live in a benevolent universe and you realize the utter perfection of creation, then you will absolutely just fall to your knees and you will know that there is a way to overcome every single obstacle. You might not know how to, but the intelligence that created the universe and the obstacle does. And you can give the obstacle to that intelligence and then surrender and know that the solution is on its way. Maybe not as soon as you think it should be there, but it will arrive exactly when it's supposed to. One of my dear friends who actually recently passed away, the Reverend Dr. Barbara King, she was the minister of the Unity Church in Atlanta. In her book, Transform Your Life, she said this, and I want to read the exact quote to you. She says, this sense of all rightness may not come the first time we seek it, or even the second. We may feel as though our prayers are not being heard. We may wonder if we're praying right, or even if the prayer is the thing to do, even if prayer is the thing to do in the given circumstances. At such times, it doesn't hurt to keep in mind the wisdom of our elders who understood and who were more patient than we seem to be with the workings of God. My grandmother, for instance, used to say, he may not come when you want him to, but he'll always come on time. And that was him with the capital H. So my wish for you this week is to put your attention on the silver lining in every rain cloud and to know that your prayers are being heard and the solutions will come, not in your timing, but in perfect timing. And also know that there are no mistakes.